Good morning. So I'm doing another vlog. It's February the 4th, I think, and I'm in France. I'm in Dieppe in Normandy, which is the north coast of France. And this is a house which I bought, I think, about 15 years ago. At that time in my life, I was single and I had always had a dream to live in France. I don't know, I guess it came from learning French and about France since primary school days, since the age of 7.5, 8. But it's kind of been my dream country for almost forever. So I have quite a lot of stuff here which has been mine for years, and this property is the only property I actually own. So I have old things, like I have here, for instance, the very first guitar I ever built. It's a bit of a monstrous thing. It has a Gibson Marauder scratch plate and original pickup. Here, a P90 pickup will go eventually. I mean, give me time. I've only been working on this for 30 years. The neck was something which a friend of mine sold to me for £5. Huge amount of buzz because I haven't yet put in any shielding, earth wire. What's been on the radio? When I'm here, I have Radio 4, BBC Radio 4 on. For some reason, I don't do that where I live in Norway, but every time I'm here, perhaps because Britain's just over there, just over the channel is Brighton, Eastbourne, New Haven, and I kind of feel more in touch with the UK here, and I listen to Radio 4, which is very much putting me in touch with the UK. And there are people, there's a guy called Max Richter, a composer, was on just half an hour ago, talking about AI, and all musicians, I mean lots of musicians who have a social media profile or an internet profile are talking about AI and how unfair it is, and how what's mine is mine, these are my songs. And I was thinking about it, and I just don't see any way in which AI will not access every single thing that's on the internet. It's public domain. So, you know, you see and hear things from your screen, which it comes through digital technology, but in the end it's your auditory and optic nerves that hear and see these things. And in the case of music, it's rhythms, sequences of notes, chords, harmonies, percussion patterns. And really, I don't really think how anyone can own those things. How can anyone own sights and sounds? It seems like King Canute trying to stop the tide from coming in. It's just impossible to say this is mine and I have to be paid every time anyone hears this. I mean, I'm sorry, but sorry to musicians, but that's not, I think, just the way things are. I mean, I think that is the way things are, that everything that you've ever put out publicly is in the public domain. And part of the public domain is AI artificial intelligence developers and the tools they use. So are you really inventing things when you come up with new tunes, or are you discovering them? I mean, think about that tune by Pink Floyd with the famous la 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 la, the famous kind of arpeggio. What's it called? Shine On You Crazy Diamond, I think it is, yeah. Gilmour discovered that while messing about on the fretboard. It was a kind of altered A minor chord. And he is in fact paid a lot of money at the moment through record sales, a lot of royalties and so on. But that's just changing. And I think music may be coming full circle back to something that in the old days were sounds people made. Tapping on sticks, banging rocks together, humming, singing, howling, field hollers, Australian original inhabitants listening to choruses of frogs in billabongs, which I've heard myself, and sounds an awful lot like a rhythmic didgeridoo tune. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, put some comments and tell me you're wrong, David. But I think it is just inevitable that no one will be able to say, I own these tunes, these intervals of notes, these sequences of notes, these chord progressions. I really don't think so in the end. And of course that affects me in some ways, in that I'm a YouTube musician and I create pieces and I put them out onto my YouTube channel, Dikran Marsupial Music, and that's probably the channel you're watching right now. And it would be wonderful if I could be paid for those pieces, but I have no lively expectation that that will ever be the case. So I'm doing it for myself, for my own mental health, having a creative outlet, and for the fun, and for my family and friends who may be interested, especially maybe when I'm no longer here. You'll be able to access YouTube versions of me. There's about 600 videos of poems and music already out there. I'm going to carry on doing it because I get great sense of satisfaction when I discover things, when I learn things about music and I actually put some of them into practice, and I delight in some of the sounds that can be made. What else? Right now I'm on my own here in Dieppe because this is something which is good information for anybody thinking of buying a holiday home. These things own you. If you don't look after them, they will become a huge drain on your bank account. So you have to keep visiting, even if you don't want to. So I'm wondering whether to sell this. I've been wondering whether to sell this for about 3 years now. But enough of my family have said, no, keep it, to sway the balance on the side of keeping it for now. And it, in some way, defines who I am, to have this place in France. Not in a major way, but it partly does. Right, so it's sort of mid-morning now. It's 10:15 here, European time. So I now have various things to do. Sweep out the back gutter from leaves and twigs. Do something about storing the wood. We had a whole tree cut down last October, and that's just piled up and in the rain. I need to store it and split some of it to be able to store it. There's lots to do. This is my shadow walking along in front of Auchan, the huge supermarket in Dieppe, on the edge of Dieppe, in a place called Belvedere. And it's a shopping centre as well as a supermarket, kind of in the American mall style. So now I'm passing the pharmacy on the outside, and then Flunch, which is a big dining room. It does good food. Burger King at the end. There in the distance is a real landmark in Dieppe. It's a Christian Orthodox church. Quite unusual architecture when you get close. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I want to move towards unedited videos, music videos. I want to be able to sit down and play things, and I don't want to go back and correct them. I'm doing less and less of that correction but I want to do none at all. So I can just put a video out without spending hours on a video editing software. I use DaVinci Resolve, which is pretty damn good stuff. A good software package. But I spend more time, way more time doing that than I do actually playing the music. Okay, that's enough talk. Thanks for watching. Did you see that seagull? Do you see that seagull? Not my favourite animals here because of what they do on the roof. Okay, that's enough for now. Thanks for watching.